a thrill seeker? A chill seeker? Or are you just looking to get scared out of your mind? Come with us, if you dare, for a terrifying tour through the country's most heart-stopping haunts. A den of darkness, a haunted forest, a castle of chaos, and a real mortuary. Time to leave your comfort zone behind and venture into America's scariest Halloween attractions. Tucked away in southern Pennsylvania, between Lancaster and the Susquehanna River, sits a 33-acre farm that's turned from growing crops to harvesting fear.
My brother and I, Jim, we created Field of Screams because we have a passion to scare people. We were sitting around one day at a family picnic, and a bunch of guys said, "Hey, why don't you guys start a haunted hayride? It'd be a lot of fun." And we thought, well, we'll try it out, you know, as a little hobby, and it grew into what's known today as Field of Screams.
As you begin your journey on the Field of Screams hayride, your first stop is at the original slaughterhouse that stood on the property. Here you're going to encounter atrocities only found in your worst nightmares.
My name's Sean Leach. I work in the pig skit down in the hayride. That's the very first skit, and I'm like the killer dog of the skit. It's basically a backwoods type thing where, you know, we slaughter pigs and humans whenever they get too close. The best technique to use for someone who's real hard to scare is the silent. You know, you kind of duck down on the hayride and ride along, and when people don't know you're there and then you just pop up, it's called the startle scare. That's probably one of the best ways to get anybody. It's just when they don't expect it.
Continuing onward, you'll be greeted by a posse of insane clowns.
Welcome to the circus.
My favorite portion of the Field of Screams Haunted Hayride is definitely the Toxic Village. You could go through there numerous times and never experience the same show twice.
Our strategy for scaring people is basically taking fears that exist that everyone has, whether it's you're afraid of clowns, you're afraid of the doctor, you're afraid of the dentist, and then totally embellishing that and blowing it out of proportion. We're not necessarily a high gross out scare. We do use some gross out scares. We find what works the best for us is a high startle, high intensity scare.
The next stop on the hayride is a junkyard where even the guard dogs cower in fear.
You'll never get out of here alive!
More scares await, culminating in the final, horrifying tunnel of terror.
Probably the best scare that's never going to fail is, you have to say, the chainsaw. The chainsaw is going to get everybody every time. They're always afraid of the noise, the vibration.
For visitors who survived the hayride, two other attractions await: the Haunted Asylum and the Den of Darkness.
The Den of Darkness at Field of Screams was built in the early 1800s as a barn. It was later converted into a farmhouse, and then after that converted into a hotel, the Garden Hotel.
All the way to the back. Going all sides of that room.
People have many different fears. One very common fear is being afraid of the dark. Another one's being claustrophobic. A lot of people are afraid of different creepy crawly type insects. Watching people's reactions always provides a lot of excitement to the actors as well as myself. The morgue in the Den of Darkness is personally my favorite room.
Welcome to City Morgue.
The elaborate decoration, the character, Barnabas the Mortician.
People pay to be scared because it's just the thrill, it's the excitement, it's the adrenaline rush. It's kind of the same thing as going on a roller coaster where you know you might be a little bit afraid of that big hill, but you know it's a safe environment. The best thing is to see a customer that's so afraid, they're almost in tears, but then when they come out, they laugh and say how great it was, and that's a really good feeling to see a customer reaction like that.
This chainsaw scary every time, man. Every time, freaking me.
It was freaking awesome. It was great. It was great. Chainsaw? Chainsaw is the best. It was great, man.
When we return, things that go bump in the night. The world's oldest and largest Halloween theme park attraction.
As far as the mazes, it's 13. We have 7 shows, and we hire approximately 1,000 monsters to staff it all for the evening.
While the ghouls have worked the night for 35 years, their preparations begin much earlier.
We spend, I would say, most of the year getting ready for Halloween Haunt. I started hiring makeup artists in August, and we have a pretty good return rate of makeup artists who've worked for us for the last several years.
You're out there for 8 hours a night, sliding, scaring, running around like a monster, and then you come back and do it over and over again. There's nothing like it.
I have a lot of dance training, and so I just tried to incorporate what I knew I could do with my body as part of my scare. Everybody brings sort of whatever they have, and that's what I could bring.
And when darkness falls, it's showtime.
We go for both startle and the ooh aspects of it. We tend to concentrate on all the senses for every maze, so you're surrounded by sound that will set the mood, lighting that will allow shadows and different atmospheres for the fog. We hang things in front of you that you have to go through.
One of this year's more macabre offerings is the Doll Factory, controlled by the Marionette Murderer, a psychotic serial killer who transforms his victims into dolls for his personal collection.
We started with the thought process as far back as January, actually, and that's when we come up with the concepts and everything like that. And then what we do is we figure out a room breakdown, and so I figured out a room breakdown, and then we did a whole ground plan for it. And then within the ground plan is where we start to create, you know, what kind of painting elements we want, what kind of prop elements we want, what kind of, I mean, just different things, and we get inspiration from you know, books that we read, and we have lots of research sources and a lot of films. This is the Misfit doll area, and what we wanted to do is take a whole bunch of dolls and sort of distort them so that it wasn't your average everyday little girl doll. Even though that in itself is creepy, we wanted to just be overtly creepy and wrong with them, and so we had them burnt and dismembered, and our props crew sort of went crazy with these, and I couldn't be happier.
No visit to the park would be complete without stopping by 13 Axe Manor, a mansion filled with ghosts seeking vengeance on a little girl named Lizzie.
pretty scary when you're by yourself and there's not around, like a lot of other people around, and you get pretty scared.
Well, he was in back of me. He wouldn't leave me behind.
Leaving might be the least of your worries. Back in Salt Lake City, Utah, your most terrifying dreams may come true at Nightmare on 13th.
If you want to get scared, come to the Nightmare on 13th Haunted House.
You have very pretty teeth. I like to have them, and I like to have your teeth.
Inside, you'll encounter 40,000 square feet of terror. Nightmare on 13th takes you through 45 rooms, each with its own brand of horror.
There are little themes within the haunted house. Our philosophy is, let's scare them. And that's what people come here for. We have all the technical things. We have several robotic things in the haunted house. The pneumatic creatures run off of air, and they have cylinders in them that when you fill them up, the air cylinder moves one way. When you fill up the other side, it moves the other direction. So you can have an arm move, you can have head move, jaw move, all that.
If you can handle a robot, then just wait till you enter the spider's lair. This poor soul should have stayed home.
It's a man right in the body bag as you come in, and he's just sitting there struggling. And
yeah, and he talks to you. He's just like, help, get me out of here.
There's one creature in this tangled web that'll teach you the true meaning of arachnophobia.
Are you scared? It's fun to just have to be held on to and, oh jeez.
And then you get these guys going around. I feel useful once in a while.
Best scare here, the big guys out in the line are really, really, really good.
At the Nightmare on 13th, one thing that we do here is we scare you from the minute you pull up in your car pretty much until the minute you walk out the door. So even when you're in line here, we're entertaining you. Actors that come into the haunted house, they really kind of turn the haunted house into being like breathing and living, you know, because we have the animatronics, which are really awesome. Don't look at her! Leave Mom alone! Never gonna get you! But man, you get the actors in there and the whole place just comes right to life.
And if you dare to peek behind the scenes, be prepared for an alarming eyeful.
I love them. I love walking into the grocery store and tripping people out.
You get the most unique cast of individuals who come in here. I always say that haunted house people are a certain breed. I think it's just kind of in our blood. I always tell the actors, if after you get the taste of your first scare, just love it, and that's how you know you're a haunted house person. You just want more.
If you just want more scares, run away with the demented circus.
Come on and play!
Our goal is to make you lose your mind as much as we are. People normally associate clowns with party, happy time. We are complete opposite. The best time is when they think, you know, they saw you directly in front of them, and then you take off and run around completely behind them. And they're like, oh, what? You know, you took off that way. And it, you know, completely throws off their sense of direction and everything.
Disorienting your victim is the first rule.
If you're to let the customers let their guard down, that's the best time to scare them. If you scare after scare after scare, it just gets old after a while. So you have to give them time to let their guard down a little bit, and then... Oh, toughest thing about trying to scare people is trying to scare everybody with the same thing. Some people can come through, they're like, you're not gonna scare me. Even if they get scared, they would never admit it. But overall, we can scare at least 95% of the people who come through because that's what they want. And when they want to be scared, they're ready.
I told you you'd get scared.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Whether you've got nerves of steel or go wobbly with fright, Nightmare on 13th will guarantee you some not-so-sweet dreams. New York is called the city that doesn't sleep. When we come back, find out what keeps it up at night. One of the subjects escaped and is known today as the Goat Man.
It's some creature that goes out, that lives in the woods, and basically picks off people on Lover's Lane. That's the Goat Man.
Goat Man Hollow brings this legend to life, allows you to enter the laboratories of Dr. Fletcher and search for the Goat Man yourself.
Goat Man Hollow is about a story, and it's almost like a soap opera. And the story advances or goes backward in time every year.
The story revolves around Dr. Fletcher, whose experiments created the Goat Man.
What are you doing with that?
It's hers.
That's mine. That's mine.
One of my favorite parts was taking the mystery powder out of the canister that I have and blowing just a little puff of powder out onto the guest or out towards him really freaks him out. That usually makes him jump.
That was so rude.
They don't like that at all. And it's just kind of a creepy thing. It's kind of like, what was that?
Because everyone here is a trained professional, and people here might act poorly towards you.
We have the professors, Calvert and Victoria Heights, two professors that are working for the Dorsey Laboratories. And at one time, they worked for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, where Dr. Stephen Fletcher, the creator of the Goat Man, had worked.
Don't forget the rules. They're really important.
What are you supposed to say? You looking for? The Goat Man. All right, good luck to you.
This way to the laboratory. Have fun, be safe, or one of those anyway.
We need the audience response. It's very important that if we ask them a question, they answer.
Whenever anybody asks you why you're here, you have to tell them, we're looking for the Goat Man.
Looking for the Goat Man.
Listen.
So we need them to say, we're looking for the Goat Man.
Come on, come on. We gotta get him.
Most visitors say the creepiest part of Goat Man Hollow is that much of the cast is made up of children.
Please relax,
The hardest thing is the tough guys.
The worst bodyguard ever.
Man, I was in there protecting.
We were protecting him.
Put on my shirt this way, that way. What?
Sometimes guys get so scared they put their girlfriends in front of them for a meat shield.
Every year, we have sort of a dupe. They think they've gotten off easy. Oh, we're outside, we're safe. Then suddenly the noise comes on, and most people are too afraid to turn around. When I've gone through the haunt, I've been too afraid to turn around. I don't want to see what's behind me. I hear a noise, I run, and I think that's the response a lot of people have.
Because I didn't see the Goat Man, I'm mad.
I lost my ship.
What kind of person are you? Will you run from the Goat Man? Or try to catch a glimpse and risk becoming his next victim?
So, don't wander off, okay?
I'll be right back. Professor!
New York has been called the city that never sleeps, and you're about to find out why.
Welcome to Blood Manor!
On the west side of Manhattan, 1 block from the Hudson River, stands New York City's premier haunted attraction. This is Blood Manor. The residents are insane, and they've been expecting you.
Come on, sugar! You're gonna die! Woo! Yeah! That hand right there. Ow! Yeah!
He's gonna kill you.
Help me! He's gonna kill me!
My name is Jim Farrow. I'm one of the owners, together with my partners Jim Lorenzo and Mike Rodriguez, here at Blood Manor in New York City. We like to think that we're the New York City's premier haunted attraction.
I like the room with the bodies. Definitely.
Oh yeah, the first impression. Oh my gosh.
It was very cool.
That was cool,
It was
yeah.
really good to get your heart pumping.
Although Blood Manor has many animatronic devices, it relies on actors to deliver the real shock.
There's no dinner party.
Feel your heart beating? I do.
I've been an actor here for 5 years now, and I'm also the cast coordinator and actor manager. I oversee all the actors, put them in their spots. Whatever they're going to do, I assign them their roles.
I am the girl in the shower.
He's gonna kill you! Look at... Oh my God!
To be able to scream and to be able to yell as much as I do all night long, that's the biggest thing, keeping my voice alive.
As you walk through the manor, you get to meet its insane inhabitants. The actors are the heart and soul of the attraction.
Welcome to Cannibal Kitchen, baby. We got meat, we got bones. Come on and give me a hand, sweet thing. We got blood. You like blood, baby? Oh, yeah, I love blood. I'm hungry for you!
I got you. I got you.
My organs are being harvested. I'm not a volunteer. Involuntarily.
Look what she's done to me!
The idea of a haunted attraction to myself and Mike and Jim is that we think it's not only just a scare. Don't misunderstand. Scaring people, we love it. Screaming is music to our ears. We also think we like to entertain.
I am Voodoo Priest Robert. I've created Voodoo Priest Robert around 9 years ago, and I am finally bringing him to life. This year at Blood Manor.
Oh, the pain of it all! The rusty nails are my favorite.
The entertainment value for the dollar here at Blood Manor, it's unique. You can't really find it anywhere else.
The entire thing is just a crazy, heart-pounding, scariest thing I've ever seen.
Blood Manor rock!
When we come back, the inmates have definitely taken over the asylum. Colorado, things have gotten out of control at the local insane asylum. The inmates have taken over and are now running the show. The asylum creates a new floor plan each year to keep visitors in the dark.
One of our new things is a claustrophobia wall, where it's essentially two airbags on the side of a wall that squish you together and you have to try to squeeze your way through it. A lot of stuff in here. The stuff you really wouldn't be able to buy. We just find it on the side of the road. We stop, we pick it up, say, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this yet, but it's gotta go in here somewhere because it's great. One of the things that we stole from the side of the road, we found a couple of locker faces, so we ended up grabbing them, built a locker room.
No, it's like a thrill. I love Halloween. I love being scared. It's a thrill. We're really, I'm so scared. We came here last year.
Well, I get people amped up and ready to get in the house. I scare them in the queue line, sing them songs to get them scared, sneak up behind them.
I'd say the chainsaw. Like, as soon as I hear that sound, I just have to run.
Yeah, it's realistic what they used to do back in the old days. Very scary.
You go sit in a movie theater or watch a movie, it's not the same as walking through it and actually experiencing it. And they did an awesome job with that.
It's a live entertainment. It's where people can actually live inside the horror movies that they go to see. Everybody's fun to scare. My personal favorite is the guy that comes in here and says he's not going to get scared. I think he's my favorite guy to go after. Our actors give their all every night in order to really live the part that they're playing and really try to get into the minds of the customers as they're coming through and really try to get them to experience an immersion into the environment that our actors are living in. And they do a fantastic job at that.
They're gonna get you! They're gonna get you! Don't go in there!
We spent the last 2 days just going through
basic things about scaring, because it is actually a skill. There's definitely a skill involved in scaring. It's not just a case of going up and going boo. I mean, quite the opposite. We know we don't do the cliched stuff. You're training your diaphragm. It's all about making your voice last the night, because you come in, you can do a couple of screams, you can scream, and straight away your voice is going to be gone. You need to actually just train your vocals so that you can actually last the night, because it can be a long night with a lot of screaming.
I continuously get called from the makeup crew saying, hey, we're out of blood, hey, we need more blood. Fake blood would probably be secondary to makeup. We do airbrush makeup in our attraction, and we go through an absolute ton of it during the month of October.
Putting in some veinage, broken capillaries, and then some darker veins here.
You know, everybody scares differently. I think that some people are easily startled, and other people want to see the blood and the guts and the gore.
Oh my God.
Some people are as easy to get as just having somebody in a dark corner somewhere that jumps out at them. Really what we try to do is try to have an all-encompassing approach to that, so we give everybody a little bit of what they're looking for and make sure that nobody goes away disappointed. People seem to be deathly afraid of clowns.
1 victim, 2 victim, 3 victim, 4. Once I kill you, I'm gonna kill some more.
People also want to know if there's snakes. People seem to be deathly afraid of snakes. Overall, I think also people are generally afraid of the dark. You know, dark spaces. Anytime that you can take away one of a person's senses, I think that's when you can truly scare them. You know, what makes me happy is just hearing the screams coming out of the haunted house. I mean, that's really why we do it, is to hear the people scream, and there's, you know, a great sense of satisfaction after all the hard work that we put in this to really hear people enjoying themselves and screaming their heads off as they go through.
Somewhere in the dark forests of High Point, North Carolina, lies a castle guarded by gargoyles that greet their guests with a wary eye.
Spookywood's intended purpose is to, first of all, entertain the family and the teenagers and everybody comes out.
We're here to get scared.
Over 500,000 people have been through the show since 1985.
See what I mean? And that's just the start.
We have a multi-element haunted attraction. We put you in different environments. Like the first part is actually going in that spooky old, creaky old house. And then we put you on a tram ride through the open woods, through a cornfield, and then into this huge walkthrough behind me, which is considered to be a free-flowing walkthrough with many different scenes.
Smart pets await within. Come, enter in. By the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks, enter in.
The haunted attraction started from a dare of teenagers in 1985 to enter the old spooky farmhouse on the farm. And it turned from that dare into a yearly effort of 130 people putting on a haunted attraction.
With a nightly crowd hungry for terror, this haunt relies on two artisans of fear.
My name is Mark Goodson. I'm the makeup artist and prop designer here at Spookywood's in High Point, North Carolina. Right now, Joe Harp and I are trying to finish up some of the monsters that we're going to use. They're made of latex, some are made of foam latex. The latex pieces are extremely hot, so everybody has to stay hydrated. That's in it, take breaks, cool down, put it back on, head back out. I feel sorry for them, but I put them on too, so I know what they go through.
The haunted house is set up to keep everyone safe. You know, they have microphones and walkie-talkies behind the scenes. There's always someone there to handle any sort of situation that would arise. For the most part, you concentrate on the weak people. The people that appear to be scared are scared. They're the ones that, you know, are enjoying themselves the most. It is so big. There's like 58 acres here of land and almost 2 hours worth of scare.
Everybody comes back to get scared.
I had a blast because my whole family got scared. Towards the end, everybody thought everything was done. And they all were going to go to the restroom. And there was somebody, actually a zombie, in the porta jar. And it scared our son's girlfriend pretty bad.
And me.
Yeah, it got you too.
I told her nobody would get her.
What stuck in my mind was the playground.
Yeah.
The playground with the girls standing outside in the pigtails and stuff, the Freddy scene.
I really like the little laser beams. It makes you look like you're coming up through a tunnel, just right at it. Woo! It was awesome.
We planned coming here to Spooky Woods for months.
They put in a lot of work, and the people put in a lot of time and effort, and that shows when you go through. Here at Spooky Woods, the clown definitely scares me the most, especially the clown that had the chainsaw.
It was amazing.
It's absolutely a tradition. You hear the screams behind me in the woods and all around. People just really enjoy themselves, and they come back year after year, and it's just a great feeling to know we're doing something good.
How are you doing?
CJ! Ha! Umbaba ungulu! Nunia watiji! A curse upon you all!
Spooky Woods serves frights and scares that just might keep you up at night, long after you've left. Next, find out why people are dying to get into this New Orleans mortuary doors to the morbidly curious.
What makes this attraction the most unique in America is the fact that not only does this event take place in an actual funeral home that was used for 80 years, but also the fact that the real ghosts are here as well.
We have a lot of paranormal activity here. It's a haunted house in a real haunted house. And we've had the place certified by the ISPR, International Society for Paranormal Research. They've come out with clairvoyance and actually done an investigation of the place and determined that it's very haunted.
When I entered the building with one of my investigators several months ago, we conducted a preliminary investigation of the site to see if it was feasible to implement a laboratory and museum here. And sure enough, as we did a walkthrough of the property, we were able to identify 9 different entities that haunt the site.
For Halloween each year, we create this very special experience where people can come and have something completely different as far as a haunted house attraction is concerned.
Because there's a haunted attraction here, what I really find to be interesting is that we have located a young teenage ghost, a male that's about 17 years old, that loves to run through the property while all the guests are going through it as well. So I don't know if he thinks that he's scaring people too, or what, but he seems to be very entertained by the fact that people are running through the property and monsters are jumping out on them. We have found that during the haunted attraction, because of all the screaming that's going on and people running out of the building being afraid, that the entities are actually residing on the top floor while this event takes place. So I don't think they really want to be downstairs with all the noise and all the scared people. So I do find many times that entities do go to the upper floors if they can to stay out of the way of the living.
The likelihood that people will have an experience when they come here is high, so I'm told. You go in, you have a very dramatic experience with our actors who take you on a tour of the mortuary itself and the goings-on of the funeral home. And then they let you go free into the basement where the anxiety level just amped up. So when they going down those stairs, the fear level increases with every step, and then when they finally get down there, they go crazy. They just lose it. They just lose it. And then the experiences that you go through in the basement, many of the areas were areas that were used for embalming and the actual preparation of bodies.
I think that the scariest area really is the embalming room, because it is a real embalming room. And there are actors downstairs, and they are playing like the mad scientist doctor.
When you go through this place, you are experiencing all the things that they once did here, and we're recreating it theatrically.
Part 2 of what we are currently doing at the Haunted Mortuary, of course, is an actual ghost tour of the facility. The normal ghost tour takes place after all of the regular monsters go home and the haunted house is shut down. Guests that are coming through the haunted tour of the facility late at night are also experiencing everything from being touched to seeing an apparition to hearing voices, people whispering. And the most fascinating part is that some of the monsters in the basement that are actual mannequins start weaving back and forth by themselves when they enter the rooms.
All of a sudden I hear this. And I turned around and I was freaking out, kind of, but I was kind of like, I know somebody has a string attached to that thing, they're pulling it, you know, and before anybody could say anything, we're all looking this way, everybody's standing in that area, and this one just starts moving. It was insane.
What we're really doing is we are bringing people through this house to see if they have paranormal experiences, and they are. So it helps in my research of the facility as well, that even though we have not released the information yet of who we've identified, the guests here are validating for us who and what haunts here. And so it's pretty amazing.
When we come back, we'll step through the gates of the Castle of Chaos. All who enter soon learn why this lonely fortress is known as the Castle of Chaos. Inside these walls, you'll find the ultimate in grisly gore and a series of horrors designed to put you in the hot seat.
Who do you think you are?
Castle of Chaos is a very unique haunt. The entire intention behind it is to gross you out, freak you out,
Please get me out of here!
and chase you away screaming.
Scream all you want, but there's no turning back as you encounter some familiar yet frightening stories.
Each year we do a different theme. So this year the story is about Andrew. Andrew is a mad killer.
You get to meet your new god, Andrew.
He started a cult because he was infatuated with the 7 deadly sins, and this place is now a shrine to the 7 deadly sins, and you will come here to experience the 7 deadly sins.
You'll come face to face with some of the worst offenders.
You know, they're not that bad, so come on in and meet them. They're really nice people. Really. I wouldn't lie to you.
I'm the apprentice of Andrew. I built this place.
Each sin has actors dedicated to scaring the living daylights out of you.
As you go through, in the very beginning, we introduce the storyline to the patron.
But we'll have to play schizophrenic later.
So what we've done is, for Envy, we have a little girl who her sister and best friend, Tiffany.
Isn't she so pretty?
Basically, in her rage at being so jealous, has ripped Tiffany's face off.
Go!
It's a horror movie, and you are the unwitting star.
The scariest sin was probably the greed one, and there was a guy ripping out people's teeth for their gold.
It's on!
Most people don't enjoy going to the dentist. I've had root canals. They're not pleasant. Having my teeth ripped from my skull with no Novocaine whatsoever is not a pleasant prospect. We play upon things that we know people fear,
Lay down!
or at the very least are very uncomfortable with. We keep our rooms very small, and we keep a lot of our hallways very small as well. The closeness of having an enclosed space, of that claustrophobia, we do play on that heavily in a couple of areas.
I think it's art. I think these people are very talented. I mean, the people who have to do the makeup, the people who have to dress up and they have to act, they're amazing.
The castle has over 100 actors, designers, and technicians working to fill this haunt with ghoulish detail.
For all the haunt, it's always more blood the better.
Some of the most ghastly transformations take place in costume and makeup.
What you do is everything starts out as a clay sculpture and modeling clay. And so just looking at, muscle and anatomy books, I'll sculpt this look. And we're going to pop a lot more of this later with paint. But right now it's in 2 different shades of silicone just to look like meat.
Masks and makeup help, but these actors need little encouragement to unleash their fiendish selves.
Show her the knife, man.
It's awesome. You get to scare everyone. You get the best reaction. This is the best job that I've ever had.
And what's the key to frightening your fellow man?
It's timing. Timing is the most important thing when it comes to scaring. You want them to look left as you come right. It's the best thing you can do is get them when they're not looking.
It's a good time,
And the ladies always grab on.
Yeah, ladies like it. So that's why we come.
It's an adrenaline rush. Not only that, you look around and your friends are getting scared and you get to laugh at them. It's awesome. It's just, I love this more than anything else because I'm surrounded with friends and they all love the same thing, scaring you.
Oh, the horror of it all. Each year, thousands of haunted attractions around the country promise to give you the creeps, the willies, or the heebie-jeebies.
Meet the menagerie of monsters that haunt the night.
I am Dracula.
And find out from legendary horror producer Roger Corman how Hollywood preys upon our deep-seated fears of the dark. We'll peel back the most menacing masks and discover how mammoth pumpkins are sliced and diced and turned into some of the creepiest carvings you've ever seen. All that and more on Halloween Unmasked. Ghoulies and ghosties and long-legged beasties.
Give me some meat!
And things that go boo in the night. When the streets become the venue of vampires, ghosts, witches, and warlocks, it can only mean one thing.
Trick or treat!
It's October 31st, Halloween. The most unusual holiday of the year. A celebration when reality officially takes the night off.
We like that one day to just throw caution to the wind and say, it's okay, it's Halloween. That's why I'm acting this way.
Just the idea that for a night, you don't have to be yourself, I think is very alluring.
You can walk out in a bedsheet and be a ghost. You can't do that very often.
From communion with the dead to pumpkins and pranks, Halloween is a patchwork holiday, stitched together with cultural, religious, and occult traditions that span centuries. It all began with the Celts, a people whose culture had spread across Europe more than 2,000 years ago. October 31st was the day they celebrated the end of the harvest season in a festival called Samhain. That night also marked the Celtic New Year and was considered a time between years, a magical time when the ghost of the dead walked the earth.
It was the time when the veil between death and life was supposed to be at its thinnest.
On Samhain, the villagers gathered and lit huge bonfires to drive the dead back to the spirit world and keep them away from the living. But as the Catholic Church's influence grew in Europe, it frowned on the pagan rituals like Samhain. In the 7th century, the Vatican began to merge it with a church-sanctioned holiday. So November 1st was designated All Saints' Day to honor martyrs and the deceased faithful.
Both of these holidays had to do with the afterlife and about survival after death. It was a calculated move on the part of the church to bring more people into the fold.
All Saints' Day was known then as Hallowmas. Hallow means holy or saintly, so the translation is roughly Mass of the Saints. The night before, October 31st, was All Hallows' Eve, which gradually morphed into Halloween. The holiday came to America with the wave of Irish immigrants during the potato famine of the 1840s. They brought several of their holiday customs with them, including bobbing for apples and playing tricks on neighbors, like removing gates from the front of houses. The young pranksters wore masks so they wouldn't be recognized. But over the years, the tradition of harmless tricks grew into outright vandalism.
Back in the 1930s, it really became a dangerous holiday. I mean, there was such hooliganism and vandalism. Trick-or-treating was originally an extortion deal. Give us candy or we'll trash your house.
Storekeepers and neighbors began giving treats or bribes to stop the tricks, and children were encouraged to travel door to door for treats as an alternative to troublemaking. By the late 30s, trick-or-treat became the holiday greeting. But the tradition as we know it today really took off with the migration to the suburbs of the 1950s. Trick-or-treating became a social event, a chance for neighbors to meet each other and their kids. The candy industry, which knew a sweet deal when it saw one, quickly began mass marketing the custom. Today, 93% of kids say they trick-or-treat, and nearly everyone remembers their favorite costumes from Halloween's past.
For about 3 years in a row, I was Count Dracula, and then the 3 years after that, I was just a ghost.
I was Cinderella one year, and it was the best costume because my mom handmade it for me.
My favorite costume was the Grim Reaper. I always wear it every single Halloween. Happy Halloween!
These days, more than half of all kids wear prefabricated costumes,
Trick or treat.
with an average price of more than $20.
It's a lion? Trick or treat!
According to figures from the National Retail Federation, the most popular identities for kids are princess, pirate, and witch, in that order. And by the way, 1/3 of adults say they get into costumes as well. Some psychologists say that costumes we choose may hide our faces, but actually reveal parts of our hidden inner selves. For instance, scary costumes, monsters, vampires, skeletons, allow us to live out a fascination with the dark side. It's a fascination shared by Paul Daniels, a master of mask making.
It all comes down to, I think the people that buy are trying to relate it with something. Or something they were afraid of as a child. Ghosts, goblins, witches, vampires. That's where my base is.
Entering Paul's studio on the outskirts of Chicago is like paying a visit to the Crypt Keeper, a ghoulish collection of